Welcome to The Racing Line, the show where we discuss everything that's going on in the real-life Formula world, but also in terms of the F1 22 game. I'm your host for today, Hayden Gullis, and I'm joined by the amazing Dirk Chocolate. Coming up in today's show, we're going to be getting into the race reactions, discussing the Dutch GP that has recently happened, but also getting our predictions for the up-and-coming Italian Grand Prix. Moving on to the game in the pit lane, we've got some exciting news. China is returning to F1 22, and I, for one, cannot wait to get my hands on the wheel around that track. In the esports report, Williams and Alpine, they've both released their teams, but there is also the calendar that we're going to be diving into. As for Team Radio, we answer all your questions that you have given us in the previous episode of this show. And finally, challenge accepted, where you guys at home have a chance to beat me and Dirk around the Italian Grand Prix. But for now, let's head into our race reactions.
Hi guys, and welcome to the race reactions. Now, we've just had Zandvoort last weekend, which was, for me, it was a 7 out of 10 for the track, but the cars are doing justice to the races now, so I'm really loving the development of the cars, especially Mercedes seem to have just a package just stepping up. The Ferraris, I don't know what's happening over there. It's another weekend. And the Red Bull is just going from strength to strength. Of course, Perez is having issues every now and then, but Max is just on a whole new level. But overall, it's still better. It was a way better than the race than last year. I thought that we would be disappointed, but no, it's definitely delivered. I also had the pleasure of watching it with you, Hayden. How did you find it, mate?
Pleasure or displeasure? I don't know which one you want to choose. But now, we had good fun watching it together on Sunday. I enjoyed it, and I personally feel like the overtaking there has definitely been improved by these cars. I think just because we didn't necessarily have too much of a battle up front, like we have seen maybe more towards the start of the season, where it was Max versus Charles, hammer and toe, lap after lap, being very close and then overtaking each other back and forth. I think obviously we don't necessarily have that battle anymore. Max dominant, great performance in a world of his own, and maybe that's why some people maybe are rating the track down. I think had we got a bit more of a closer battle up front, it would have been maybe a more enjoyable race for people. But I was very happy, Lance Stroll, my boy, getting the point in the end. But it was an exciting race. I think there was a lot going on there, and it's good to see that every now and again Mercedes are able to join that fold and maybe challenge for wins as well as Ferrari and Red Bull. So maybe at the end of the season, if this can continue, we could have a three-way fight for race wins, which is going to be very exciting. It's
looking like so. Lewis already said that he's quite passionate. It's the first time that he thinks that they've been so close to actually getting that win. Same for George, trying to maximize those softs to give him the best chance. So they're definitely feeling really confident. But another thing that really surprised me about this weekend is to see some of the drivers really coming out of the shells now. So Yuki Tsunoda was really impressive for me. Just especially in qualifying, he was just right up there. Similarly with I think it was Ocon. Ocon just consistent. He's just doing really, really well recently. But he's not someone that's up there to be in the limelight, but if you keep an eye on them, he's so consistent lately, and he's just putting in some good performances. And maybe by the end of the season, we're going to see a lot closer racing between the top three teams.
Yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to. Something else we can look forward to as well. We're back again. It's a triple header. So we're heading over to Italy, Monza for another race. Very excited about that one. Bold predictions going into this race. You know what? I think Red Bull are going to have it this weekend. It's not necessarily a bold prediction. I think they're just straight line speed is incredible. Yeah. I honestly believe that they could just take an engine penalty, right? Mm-hmm. Put themselves to the back, take that extra engine, drive back through the field, take the race win, and I think be the first person to ever go from last to first in a race. I honestly think that they could do that at Monza. It's easy to overtake in a straight line. Their car is very quick in a straight line. Yeah. I think they could do it. And do you know what? For the entertainment factor, Red Bull, Max Verstappen, put on a show. Let's do it. Last to first, challenge accepted.
At this point, if it comes to the end of the season, they can do that and they'll be absolutely fine. I mean, he's currently predicted to win it in Singapore if he wins all the races, including the sprint race. So they could do that just to be funny. But my bold prediction, I don't know. I'm going to say we could see Yuki Tsunoda in the top 5. I wouldn't be surprised. Wow. He is an underdog like crazy right now, but I am loving watching him. So that is my bold predictions.
There you go. Those are our bold predictions for the Italian Grand Prix. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think is going to happen. Let's hear your top 3 and your bold prediction for the weekend. Let us know in the comment section down below. On to the pit lane. This is the segment of the show where we talk about the Formula 1 game. In recent weeks, Dirk, you've had an amazing opportunity to go and chat to some of the Codemasters team. And this week is no different because you are chatting, of course, to Dan Hawkins, who is part of the Codemasters team. So let's see what you two got up to.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the pit lane. And once again, I've been very lucky to get an interview with one of the teams over at Codemasters and EA. So this week we have Mr. Dan Hawkins. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey Dirk, how you doing? I'm Dan from Codemasters, or Electronic Arts as we're now called. I help run the F1 Esports series from Codemasters' point of view, making sure that everything's sorted for the upcoming seasons. Production have got what they need to obviously run a show, and obviously the game is looking as good as it should be.
That's not the first time we've met, and I'm really happy to actually get a chance to sit and talk to you properly, though obviously a bit more formal this time, which is great. But do you want to give us a quick insight into the F1 Esports season? The calendar was just released last week.
Yeah, it was actually. We've got a few changes this year as well. 2 of the tracks, obviously Imola has come out. China's now gone, which obviously is not in the real calendar. So the season starts next week, the 14th of September, and it will run on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday next week. And we'll see the return of the qualification show, which will take part in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock. And we'll also see the return of the race show. But this time, each race will have its own dedicated show. So we'll get more analysis, more content with the esports drivers, and more interaction with the audience as well, really.
Sweet. Okay, so for the guys that have maybe never seen the esports, what is it? How does it work? What's it to do with?
It's all about bringing a younger audience to Formula 1. So Formula 1, we're trying to find a way to get in touch with the younger audience, and obviously with the ever-increasing Formula 1 game by Cody's, that was a good route to bring them in. We also look at a narrative of bedroom to podium, so anyone can play, anyone just needs a copy of the game, and they can take part in the series as well. We've got qualifications starting in October, and they can go through the qualification events, the qualification races, the challenges they're called, and they can get invited to the pro exhibition, which is where they'll take part against other people. So everyone comes from all over the world, and China as well, the China Championship, and they basically race off against each other, and then they have a chance to get picked by a real Formula 1 team. So it's a way that you don't have to spend thousands of pounds each year to race. You can go and get set up for a couple of £100 and just get set up that way, really.
My next question, I guess, leading on from that is, let's say I am Joe Bloggs and I want to get involved, and I feel like I've just got the talent to become a F1 Esports World Champion like Liano. How would I be able to start my journey?
Okay, so qualification for F1 Esports begins in October. We'll have 2 events that are a month long each, like last year. And basically the top 8 per platform, so it doesn't matter what platform you take part on, everyone can take part as long as they've got a copy of the official F1 22 game. They can take part in those events. And they'll then get invited to the challenges, which is everyone can race online, and it follows the format of the Pro Championship. So 50% races. We did 25% last year because we couldn't do 35. But this year we'll be doing 50% races, and also we'll be doing the same tracks that they have done in the Pro Championship with a few twists as well, just to keep it slightly different and see how the skill set is transferable across street circuits and your normal circuits. So your Monaco, for example, doesn't mean that's in the list, but that's a circuit there. But you can't compare someone from Monaco to Barcelona, so they're 2 different tracks. So it's always good to have a mix-up of tracks in there.
Great to know about the calendar and how you can enter as an esports driver, but how would you actually be able to watch the F1 Esports that is coming up?
So the qualification shows, which go on in the afternoon UK time, they'll be viewable on YouTube, Twitch and Huya. The race shows, which are separate from the qualification shows, they will be on in the evening and UK time, and they will be on terrestrial TV, so your Sky Sports, your ESPN, all the different sports providers around the country, around the world, sorry. And that will be YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Huya as well.
Dan, thank you for coming onto the show and chatting with me. I really do appreciate it. Really good insight to what you guys have planned. I'm really excited to see the F1 Esports scene boom again. See, I'll be watching from Twitch as always, giving you guys support. So I'm really excited for that. So 14th of September, make sure you're keeping an eye out. Twitch, YouTube, Sky Sports F1, or wherever you are in the world. I'm sure it will be there. But again, Dan, thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll see you again soon, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Another great interview there with Dan Hawkins, another member of the Codemasters team, and I'm really excited to hear about the F1 Esports season that's about to come. 14th of September, keep an eye out on that, and a little bit more about the esports segment upcoming next, actually. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you'll have noticed that China has finally been released and is a new DLC to the F1 game, which is completely free, by the way. So, for the guys that haven't played it already, and if you're new to the F1 game, it's a very interesting track, very technical, especially Sector 1. Obviously, Sector 3, one hella long straight, but Sector 1 and Sector 2, very tricky, very fun. I've raced on it quite a lot. Hayden, what are your thoughts on China being released, mate?
I do love China. It is a really good circuit. You've got the turn 1, 2, and then it cuts back on yourself. It's like the snail shell section coming to the game on the 12th of September, so do not miss that day. We're going to be jumping on, doing open lobbies around China. It's going to be a lot of fun, but do you know what? It's really exciting that Codemasters and EA are implementing these, I'd say classic tracks. Obviously, they've not been out of F1 for too long, so it's good that they're getting these other tracks into the game. So it's just more content for us to be able to use, but it's exciting as well, so potentially more classic tracks can be added to the game in the future, which I'm really excited to see, because I love more tracks to be able to race around, try and set your best time that you possibly can, see out of your friends who you can try and beat. So I'm really excited that, again, we had Portimao last month, like pretty much a month ago, and now 1 month later we're having China, so I'm really, really excited with what they're doing.
Should be very interesting, of course. When you say beat friends, you mean beat me. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, you're my only friend, so yeah.
No, it should be good, though. It gets me really excited. I think they're getting prepared for next season as well, because I believe China is back on the F1 calendar next year. The more tracks, the merrier to me, so I'm really happy to see that. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys out on the track to race with you on China.
If they bring another classic track as well, though, what would you like? I want Hockenheim.
The Nürburgring.
I
was going to say
one.
Yeah, well, no, not the full one. No, that's the. I mean, if they could, that'd be great. But I was going to say Turkey, but no, the Nürburgring, I think, in an F1 car would be very good fun.
Following on from Dirk's chat with Dan Hawkins earlier, we have the F1 Esports Pro Championship calendar that has been released. We're going to be kicking things off in Bahrain on the 14th of September before flying over to Italy in Imola, the Imola race of Italy, on the 15th. Silverstone's on the 16th of September. Then we have to wait a whole month. We have to, just tuck away, hibernate for a month, come back. F1 Esports will be back in October the 12th for the Red Bull Ring. Then it's Belgium on the 13th with Zandvoort on the 14th of October. In November the 2nd, we're heading over to Monza in Italy before going to Mexico on November the 3rd and Austin, USA for the 4th. Before the final 3 races in the finale, it's Suzuka, Japan, Brazil in Interlagos, and then Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi will be the finale on the 16th of December. Dirk, we've got a lot of tracks, 12 rounds of the F1 Esports Series Pro Championship 2022 this year. Which track stands out for you amongst those?
Suzuka and Imola. Imola being that it's still quite a relatively new circuit to the calendar. But Suzuka will be interesting. That's a very technical track. It's very easy to lose it. Like the curbs this year are a lot more aggressive, so you can't attack them as in previously in the game where the curbs were a little bit more nicer to you, let's put it. So Suzuka will be really interesting as a race.
It's interesting actually that you've picked those two tracks, because those are two tracks that you would normally associate with being more difficult to overtake, being more of the DRS trains, but the esports series, as we know, the drivers are just so close to one another that anything can happen. Hopefully it's going to be some great battles along there. For me, I'm really excited. I think for Zandvoort as well. I think because it's just watching those guys do a hot lap around Zandvoort, and it's just going to be so precise and on the limit.
Yeah,
like any track around here is going to be amazing to see, but Zandvoort being so tight, twisty, no margin for error, it's going to be an incredible lap to see from those guys. So that's the F1 Esports Series Pro Championship 2022 calendar.
On to the team radio. Now, last week we weren't able to answer the questions, but these questions were there from last week and the previous week. So we picked out some of the key questions that you guys were asking. And to go straight into the first question, you asked, when can we expect to see updates for car models and liveries? Now, they have told us that this will come with the sports update that will be arriving later on in the year. So they haven't got an exact date at the moment, but that sports update will include the car liveries, race suits, and team apparel as well as the car models. So keep an eye out for that. Usually it comes in before Christmas, so I assume it will be around then, but at this moment in time I can't give you an exact date.
Now on to the next question from you guys, which was, when will China be added to the game? And we now have full confirmation of that. It was teased when Portimao was released with the little eyes emoji and the Chinese flag emoji, but we have confirmation now, 12th of September. So next week is coming to the game, and whilst we are talking, you can have a look at these sneak peek exclusive shots of the circuit on F1 22.
And another question from you guys. You asked, when will the tyre allocation mechanism be tweaked so that mediums can be used during the race and practice? Because at the moment, I think you only get one set of mediums. But we asked that question, and they have said that it is a hot topic for them at the moment, and it is something that I'm looking into. But they haven't got an immediate fix at this moment in time, so we haven't got an exact date of when that patch for that fix specifically will arrive. But do keep an eye out for that one. It is something that they are aware of and they have noted, so I appreciate you guys asking because it does raise that for them. Which brings me to my next point, which is that they have platforms as well as us. Use the comments down below and use ear answers where you can ask the questions and let them know about the issues that you guys are having. They can then look into that and hopefully come back to you guys with answers. If not through ear answers, then through us, and we can ask and deliver back to you. But make sure you're using those platforms available.
On to challenge accepted then, and this is the part of the show where you guys at home have a chance to beat myself and Dirk on the F1 22 game. This week we're heading to Monza, and we thought, why not jump into a couple of safety cars and set the best lap time possible. I'm in the Aston Martin, Dirk's in the Mercedes. Let's see who comes out on top.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a lap of Monza.
In the safety cars, which safety car is better?
We're going to try and beat Hayden and the Aston Martin over there. So just before the white line, we brake into second gear.
Into the first corner now, hard on the brakes. Is that too late? I think it's fine.
Do not let this car slide too much. The more the car slides, the more time you lose.
Let's keep it nice and tight through the right-hander.
Cut a little bit of the left, just maximize the exit on the right here, early on the throttle.
Corner, hard on the brakes then, for this next left-hander, again, using a lot of the curb.
50 again, drop one.
Push it on the exit, yes. Let's go, 6 tenths up currently, yes.
Now, Ascari, you're looking for the black box on the right. That's your braking point. Black box into third gear. Fourth, you're brave.
We did lose a little bit of time on the Delta, but that's fine. We're still 5 tenths up.
Oh, and even then I was still very early. Fourth on the exit.
So this one is critical. We've got to brake oh so early.
And again, maximize traction and speed on the exit. Just don't let it slide. The more it slides, the more time you lose.
And we're a second up. Look at this. What a lap time we are on for.
I think it could have been half a second faster here if I didn't mess up Ascari, but it's not too bad.
It's a no. Okay, maybe not. We lost a lot of time. That was bad.
A 1:53.2 is my time.
It's going to be a 2 minutes 5.59.
Decent. Oh, don't let go of your wheel.
Those are the hot laps then from myself and Dirk. If you feel like you can do quicker at home, jump in the safety cars, get round Monza and send your laps on social media using the hashtag #TheRacingLine. Shout out to @RaisinShy, who was able to beat the three of us in an F2 car around Zandvoort last week, setting a lap time that was like 2 seconds quicker than the fast lap time, which was you, Dirk, which is a surprise. You came out on top.
Sweat, what can I say?
Where did that come from?
What can I say? I'm just naturally talented, mate.
Big sweat. You did 100 laps last week. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry, everyone. There's going to be 100 laps set by Dirk this week as well. And that is going to wrap up this episode of The Racing Line. If you want to stay up to date with this show and, of course, the F1 22 game, make sure you follow @Formula 1 Game on social media. And, of course, remember, if you have any questions about the F1 22 game that you want to send over to EA and Codemasters, get those down in the comment section below, and we will try our best to answer those as well. But from me, Hayden, and Dirk, we will see you on the next one. Until then, it's goodbye from us. Bye-bye.